illiterate. Mga illiterates to, functional illiterates. That's about 218,000 in terms of constituents. The number on the left is the number of constituents. You have Davao Occidental, which is the next. 53% of their constituents are functionally illiterate, which is 130,000. And next will be Zamboanga del Sur, 49%. About 399,000 are functionally illiterate. No? So again, in Tawi-Tawi, if we want to bring businesses there, have meaningful livelihood programs, very difficult if people cannot even understand and comprehend a simple story. No? So again, breaking the cycle of poverty is very difficult if you have problems with literacy, both basic and functional literacy.
It has an impact in appropriate communication, Mr. Chair. Yeah.
So this is very important, and I hope LCC will take note of these numbers. We cannot just meet here in the room. We have to cascade this all the way to the provinces. Now that data is available per province, it's important that we flag the local government units in that area to address illiteracy in their locality, either by their own using their own resources or allocating national resources so that it can be augmented. No? But definitely we cannot just sit down and sleep well at night knowingly that we have constituents who cannot read, write, and compute.
We agree, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Because as long as there's somebody who cannot read, write, and compute, there will be poverty in our country. So we need to break that cycle of poverty by injecting education. And if you look at the age group, let's go at the age group. A lot of them in the PSA age group ba tayo ng illiterate? If you look at the curve, a big chunk will come from 5 to 9 and also spread across different age groups. No? So meaning these are outside of the DepEd system already. No?
Yes, sir.
So intervention programs should also be available to people who are working. No?
Yes, sir. As we have, our NS mapa has intimated to you, perhaps the alternative learning system can come into play here.
So how do we attract people who are working to educate themselves or teach themselves how to read, write, and compute, or how to enroll in intervention programs so that they will be taught how to read, write, and compute?
Agree, sir.
Yeah. I think yung mga nasa DepEd system natin, there's hope with that because they're in the system, no? And in this, we'll take this survey for now. No, the 5 to 9, the 10 to 14, the 15 to 24, at least partly 15 to 24. They're in the DepEd system. So intervention remediation programs can be injected so that this cohort can graduate or will graduate with at least functional literacy skills. No? Those who are outside of the DepEd system, that's the challenge. Yun ang mas mahirap because we have to locate them, we have to encourage them to enroll in our intervention programs such as the alternative learning system and others. No? So that's a challenge. There are two cohorts here, one inside the DepEd system, one outside of the DepEd system. No? The outside of the DepEd system is very difficult. No? But nevertheless, I really believe that we need to mobilize the local government units to locate those outside of the DepEd system. That's why the granular data is very important. At least the governor, alam niya na. The governor of Tawi-Tawi will know that there's a big problem of illiteracy in his locality. And they can do some intervention programs there.
We just don't know, sir, if the DILG is also part of this hearing right now. But
Well, they're
they will
part of
be
the
consulted,
LCC.
sir.
DILG is part of the LCC. LCC, the Literacy Coordinating Council, their job is to coordinate, to make sure that there's a whole of nation approach in terms of addressing literacy, and DILG is part of their is one of their members. No? So we'll hear from LCC later on, because that's an important body that will address all of these problems.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Chair, I would just like to inform our colleagues. There's going to be a regional cascading of this. So the PSA regional offices are going to present the results down at the regions and respective provinces, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. I have some more questions, but I'll ask them later on so that we can hear everyone's voices. We'll start off with DepEd, and give us your thoughts on the presentation, and how are we addressing basic and functional illiteracy in our DepEd system.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The DepEd team this morning, good morning, everyone. The DepEd is going to report, we'll be giving you a report to inform the Committee on Basic Education on the ongoing initiatives of the Department of Education into the related ways to address or contribute into the recent FLEMS result. These are all under the directives of Secretary Sani Angara in line with the DepEd's 5-point reform agenda. With me are the Bureau of Learning Delivery, the Bureau of Alternative Education, and the Operations Strand. The Secretariat of the Literacy Coordinating Council, which is also lodged in DepEd, will be having a separate report. So I'll turn over the microphone to BLD, the Bureau of Learning Delivery, first.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. So, as mentioned by ASEC Jerome, the next two slides will focus on the initiatives in relation to addressing the gaps as presented by the PSA. The first one is really on curriculum reforms. This is to have a paradigm shift on the focus or the prioritization of what DepEd will have to do. The curriculum focus on the foundational literacy and numeracy. Next is to deepen learners' comprehension across disciplines. The third is to foster critical and creative thinking. And the last one is to ensure that meaningful application of the knowledge in real-life contexts. The second is the teacher capacity building. Through this, the early language literacy and numeracy program will look into the teachers, the training on phonological awareness, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary development, which is very essential in ensuring that our teachers are capable of teaching the basic literacy skills so that our learners will be able to have the same competencies. Then as part of that also, we are doing a formative assessment reforms. We have to introduce, and that aims to move beyond from mere factual recall and instead evaluate learners' understanding, analysis, and problem-solving ability. The third one is a school-based initiative. This is the institutionalization of Learning Action Cell to provide teachers with structure, collaborative spaces to analyze literacy data, share effective strategies, and design context-specific instructional improvement. The promotion of collaborative expertise ensure that our school leaders, teachers, and learning coordinators work together to co-develop solutions grounded in learners' data, fostering collaborative accountability and sustained improvements. This initiative aligns fully with the insights drawn from the PLEMS findings and reflect our commitment to raising both basic and